Want to know how to deal with highly emotional people? Hey there, if we haven't met yet, I'm Vanessa Medling, and even through my own experience back in the day working at Centrelink, there were days where I needed to take action against somebody who is in a highly emotional state. But I also notice that leaders do this in general. Sometimes people at work aren't happy with a decision, or something's happened and they get really upset or really angry about something, and then you're there and you're taking the brunt of that. So I want to give you my top 3 tips on how to handle it and how to diffuse the situation. So the first one is to actually listen. Allow them the opportunity just to get it off their chest and hold the space for them. So you're showing them that you're acknowledging what they're saying, you're validating them, you're listening to them, you're seeing them for their anger and their frustration or their emotion right now, and you're holding the space for them. So what happens is if we try to shut this down too quickly, we're just diffusing it and it will flare up again because the fire's not out. So we want to be allow people the opportunity to say what they need to say and get everything off their chest. Then my second tip sort of ties into that, because it's important whilst they're talking to be giving them some verbal cues and some non-verbal cues that continues to validate them. So it could be nodding your head. It could be saying, imagine if you with your best friend or somebody that you love and they're telling you a story like that, you would be leaning into that and saying, oh God, that must be so hard, or just whatever genuinely comes from you in the way that you validate people. Do the same thing here. Encourage them to get it all out. And then the third tip, once they've finished getting it off their chest, what I would recommend you say is something along the lines of, I can't even imagine what it would be like to experience what you've just experienced. In fact, I reckon that if I did go through that same situation, I wouldn't be handling it anywhere near as well as what you are right now. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. You might be thinking, are you mad or something? Because clearly they're not handling it very well. Well, I would suggest that the opposite of that would be to flare it up by saying something like, you're not handling this well, or it could be something like, stop yelling, that's not appropriate, or can't you just calm down, or just something that's going to add fuel to the fire. When you acknowledge somebody for handling something well and they're clearly not, chances are that they're going to it'll kind of be weird to them. They'll go, am I handling this well? If not in the moment, maybe later. But effectively what you're doing is diffusing the emotion, the high intense emotion from the situation. And then of course, following that could be the appropriate time to have the discussion about a different behaviour that's required in the workplace. So if I've just opened a can of worms and you want to find out a little bit more, particularly if you're interested in looking at this through the lens of DISC profiling, I have some more, a longer video that I share with my clients that goes into each of the DISC styles and how to adapt your language per style when it comes to being able to respond when they're in highly intense emotional situations. So just reach out, shoot me a message, pop a comment below, or click the link, and I would love to chat with you further. Have a great day.